guys and gals? Now we're here from Drake Queen Gaming, or something to me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Santa Lucia. Nate's Path. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm Chan, you were up, and let's go. Alright. Stopped for a moment to think. I think I would rather do it alone. Yeah, that's what I figured. Just threw it out there. I didn't think he was going to accept anyway. I do not like group projects. It's okay, don't worry about it. Sorry. I stand with my hands in my pockets. Well, anyway, that was my last class of the day, so I think I'm heading back to the dorm. I'll see you tomorrow, Carlos. Right, okay. When an opening in the crowd presents itself, I separate from Carlos and join in. Huh. Forever the enigma, eh, Carlos? When I get back to the dorm, it's as empty as I left it. I take a moment and do some homework before winding down with absent-minded internet browsing. Before I know it, it's time for dinner, so I head down to the UC and grab a quick meal. I close the door behind me as I return from the UC. The lights in the room are on, suggesting I'm not alone. Oh, there's Zach. Sure enough, my roommate sits at his desk with headphones around his neck. Knowing what happens every time I don't announce my presence, I open the door again. I knock loudly on it to try and get his attention. He turns his head to check. Hey, I'm back. Okay. Once again, I close the door and enter the room. I pull out my desk chair and angle it towards Zach before sitting down. What you up to? Oh. He scoots back, giving me a view of what's on his screen and the plastic container of food he's eating out of. I'm just working on the playlist assignment for freshman seminar. Your mentor gave you that assignment too, huh? Yeah. I smile and lean forward, clasping my hands together and resting my elbows on my knees. I finished mine yesterday. I'm not super comfortable with what I'm about to ask, but it might help bridge the gap between us. Would you like to hear it? Are you sure? Yeah, it's what it's for, right? I flip open my laptop and wait for it to boot up. Sure, I'll check it out. Alright, give me a sec. It takes a while, so I return my attention back to the dragon. Sorry, I didn't expect you to be here. I would have invited you to go get food with me at the UC if I knew. I point at the food container and I shrug. Don't worry about it, it's fine. I raise an eyebrow when I see him reach over to his mini fridge and open it. He pulls out another container and holds it in his lap. I made this at home today. Mom said I should make extra for you, so I did. You don't have to take it if you don't want to. Eh? He trembles a little as he offers it to me. I don't want to leave him hanging, so I grab the container. That's really nice of you, Zach, thank you. No problem. What is it? Chicken zucchini casserole. It's my dad's recipe. I kind of learned how to cook from him. That's pretty cool. Thanks. He sits there looking pretty bashful as I open it and eat a small forkful. It would be better warm, but it's still quite tasty. Wow, this is great, dude. You think so? Yeah, I appreciate this. I just ate, though, so I'm not hungry, but I'll save it for later if you don't mind. It's enough to know you like it. Heh. I close the container and check my computer. Still booting up. You know, I never seriously tried to learn how to cook. I've always just let other people do it for me, I guess. Unless you count the one time when I was 14 and tried to fry some eggs. Shell and all. I almost burned the house down. Man, Jess was so worried when that happened. I left shell shards in my eggs before. It's not great. Heh, yeah. We should try going out to eat together sometime, okay? Huh? We're roommates, right? We should try getting to know each other better. He stares down at the floor for a second. Sure, that would be nice. Glad to hear it. Looking back, I see everything's finally loaded on my laptop. Ah, finally. Here, let me send you a link to my playlist. Okay. Let me send you a link to mine. Oh, 1 second, y'all. It is ooh. I don't know what happened. 1 second, y'all. It is water time. I look over my shoulder at him in surprise. Cool. How should we do it? By email? Do you have any messaging apps or social media accounts? Yeah. We spend the next half hour or so listening to each other's playlists. I didn't expect him to be into this kind of music. I wonder what he thinks about mine. After talking about them for a little, we withdraw back into our own quarters to do our homework for the night. I'm glad this turned out well. Slowly but surely, Zach's walls are coming down. September 15th, 2018. I slowly open my eyes and regain consciousness when I hear someone walk by our door. On the other side of the room, Zach lays in bed facing the other direction. I would usually brush the sound off as someone getting home very late, but for some reason, whoever they are starts crying. I sit up, blanket still covering my lower body. My eyes adjust to the darkness, allowing me to make out the door frame in the distance. The light from the hallway peeks in from beneath the door. Every now and then a shadow passes by, suggesting the person is pacing up and down the hall. At this point, I'm mostly conscious, and curiosity is getting the better of me. I wonder who it is. Pushing the blanket off of me and getting up from the bed, I reach down to grab the shirt I wore yesterday and slip it on. Jeez, what time is it? You could cry in your room, you know. I reach the door and undo the lock, then slowly open it so I don't accidentally wake Zach up. Oh. I step into what I believe is the dormitory hall for a moment, only to be met by a frighteningly familiar room that shouldn't be here. What? I close the living room door behind me and shake off the cold. There's a lamp on near the sofa, illuminating a figure sitting in my dad's favorite chair. Knowing I'm about to get the scolding of my life, I try to pretend there's nothing wrong and unzip my jacket. Hey, Dad. He doesn't respond. Sorry I'm late. I didn't mean to, I swear. Karina and I got stuck. Ben? Dad stands up from the chair. So at this point, I notice he's holding his cell phone. Wait, where's Jess? He turns to face me. His fur is matted underneath his eyes, almost as if he's been crying. I feel a pit forming in my stomach. What's going on? I just received a call from the police. My blood runs cold. All sound from the world seems to disappear. I see my father's mouth moving, but I'm not listening anymore. No. No, you're wrong. He tries approaching me, but I take a step back. This can't be happening. I can't control it. I scream at the top of my lungs. Before Dad can reach me, I turn to open the front door and run out. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. I snap out of the daze I'm in, but the disorientation remains. Where am I now? Before me, a long hall stretches out. There are numerous doors lining each wall. I take a few careful steps forward to observe them better. To my left stands a beautiful carved mahogany door. The craftsmanship suggests no expense was spared in its creation. To my right, in contrast, stands a worn-down and beat-up door, almost looking like the entryway to a barn. I try peering through the cracks in the door as I walk, but I see nothing but darkness on the other side. Moving on to the next set on my right is a push-to-open door with a girl's locker room sign on it. On the other side is a huge metal door, something that looks straight out of an army movie. A few steps further, I'm able to observe the next two doors. On the right is a hospital door with a small inset window. Trying to see what's on the other side is no use. There's only darkness. Perhaps the lights are off? On the other side is a pretty typical-looking bedroom door with an interesting detail. There are deep gashes in the wood, almost as if someone had stabbed a knife into it multiple times. I consider walking further up the hall, but something compels me to enter one of these doors. I can't resist the temptation. It's like a voice is calling to me. There are 6 voices echoing in my head, but one is louder than the rest, pulling me closer to their door. Oh, shit. Okay. Like, y'all. Water time. Oh my god. Which door? Which door? Gas door, army door, gas door, barn door. Let's do the army door first. I approach the metal door and grip the handle. The voice calls louder to me, making it hard to resist. With the turn of the latch, I push the door open and enter. For a moment, I'm surrounded by white blankness. Before it reforms into a suburban cul-de-sac, 2-story homes arranged in a circle with only a single road leading out from them. I stand on the porch of one of these homes, staring out at the small group of children tossing around a football on the road. Across the street is a man dressed in army fatigues mowing a front lawn. The boys in the center yell, scream, and laugh while playing, clearly having a great time. One boy in particular seems to take the initiative, calling shots and making remarkably clean passes to the others for his age. Oh! That is Brian. Okay, so let's go back and do the gas door. I approach the gas door and twist the doorknob. The voice calls louder to me, making it hard to resist. When I hear the sound of the latch giving way, I push the door open and enter. For a moment, I'm surrounded by white blankness, before it reforms into a quaint, dimly lit home's hallway. I gently close the bedroom door behind me and listen to the sounds coming from down the right. Little girls are laughing and cheering at a program they're watching on television. I decide to investigate, observing the scant decorations on the walls as I travel towards the noise. At a bend in the hall, there's a large family portrait hanging. A mother stands between 2 older sons on either side of her, while a row of 4 younger girls in front are arranged in ascending height. The mother holds the youngest child in her arms, her pink attire suggesting she's a baby girl. The tigers all have distinct fur patterns, making it easy to tell them apart. So these are tigers, okay? So that's Carlos's family. So let's do Nate. Barn door, okay. I approach the barn door and lift the hatch, holding it closed. The voice calls louder to me, making it hard to resist. Allowing the latch to fall to the side, I gently push open the door and step through. For a moment, I'm surrounded by white blankness, before it reforms into what appears to be an orchard, trees arranged in long rows before me. The first thing I notice is the overwhelming heat as I stand in the sun. The barn behind me practically focuses the scalding rays onto me, so I head for the nearest tree to get some shade. Once I'm safely under protective branches, I take a moment to catch my bearings. The orchard seems to consist of almond trees that stretch out towards the mountain range in the far distance. The mountains themselves are different from what I'm used to seeing, being a strikingly beautiful hue of yellow reminiscent of gold. Focusing back on the farm I'm in, the barn I escaped from stands opposite of a two-story country house in a small clearing. A faint rumbling sound grows louder. I notice clouds of dust emerging from the tree line ahead that's slowly getting closer. Not wanting to get spotted, I adjust where I'm standing so I'm mostly hidden behind the tree I'm next to. A few minutes later, a tractor emerges from one of the rows and bounds into the clearing, making a direct line for the barn. I'm barely able to make out the figure driving the thing. A middle-aged foxman who's clearly been doing this for a while jumps down from the tractor after parking it in front of the barn's large door. He undoes the heavy wooden latch, holding the door closed and almost as if it weighs nothing. The man whistles to himself and wipes the sweat off his brow before pulling open the door. I have to cover my ears for a second in response to the loud screeching noise the hinges make. Once the door is open wide enough, the man jumps back on the tractor and drives it inside. Curiosity getting the better of me, I step out from behind the tree and dash for the side of the barn. I was born a rambling man. The man has gone from whistling to singing to himself. I watch from around the corner as he closes up the barn again and dusts himself off. He's covered head to toe in mud, dirt, and dust. Yeesh, I knew farm work was dirty, but... He transitions the song he's singing yet again, this time going from singing to humming. He makes his way towards the country house's back door. Like before, I trail behind the man after the door closes, interested in learning more about this curious place. Fortunately, they have a nice shaded porch nearby, so I carefully sneak onto it and peer in through the window. One second, y'all. It is water time. In the space between the two walls in a corner sits a tall, old-fashioned piano. A young fox that couldn't be older than 8 sits in front of it, carefully examining the sheet of music in his lap. He proceeds to play a few ascending notes with his right hand. Your mom still got you practicing your scales, Nathan? The older fox steps into the living room and smiles at the kid while leaning against the wall. Yeah. The little fox gives a defeated reply. Daw, don't look so glum, son. She only means well. She's homeschooling you to make sure you get into the best college, all right? I know. Now, which notes are you having trouble with? He walks up next to the little fox and reaches behind the piano and pulls out a beautiful acoustic guitar. The man straps the instrument around his neck and back, then gives the strings a quick strum. Maybe I can help you out, eh? Let me see that sheet. The little fox smiles and hands the page up to his father. I thought I heard a guitar. The older fox stops cold and turns around slowly when he hears a female voice call out from the kitchen entryway. Hi, honey. I was just giving the boy some words of encouragement. She strolls into the room with a scowl. I told you I don't want you teaching Nathan guitar. My son is not going to become another one of those good-for-nothing rock musicians. She stares down at her husband and puts a hand on their son's shoulder. Tell your father that what you want to be when you grow up, Nathan. The kid slumps down slightly before replying. A classical pianist. A classical pianist. Good. Now continue practicing your scales, dear. Lunch is almost ready. We'll start working on your reading assignment when we're done. Without another word, the woman returns to the kitchen. The sound of piano keys being played starts up again as soon as she's out of sight. Equally defeated, the older fox takes off the guitar and sits it back where he found it. Instead of comforting his son, he avoids eye contact altogether and heads for a recliner on the other side of the room. Relaxing and extending the leg rest, he turns on the television and stares at it blankly. Little fox continues practicing scales. And from the angle I'm watching it, I can clearly see the tears running down his face. I close my eyes and breathe for a second. When I open them, everything seems to have faded to white again. I have this intense feeling of guilt in my chest. It feels like I saw something I shouldn't have. Like I've invaded somebody's privacy. It's hard to shake. Oh! The door fades into existence in front of me, beckoning me forward. At this point, there's nothing else to see here, so I press on through it. Instead of returning to the hall, I find myself standing at the top of a staircase looking out onto a schoolyard. High-rise buildings line the streets surrounding the yard, suggesting this place is in the middle of a big city. Little kids dart around everywhere, enjoying the free time they have before class starts again. Seems to be an elementary school. I slowly descend the stairs, watching as the kids run by. I feel a tinge of nostalgia bubble up from within, though this is a place I've never seen before in my life. I remember the days when we were young. Karina and I would make believe we were superheroes protecting the school from evildoers. How melancholic it is, remembering days long past. Ah! A group of boys run by, seeming to be chasing the one in front of the pack. They manage to corner the kid behind the staircase I just ascended. We got you now! There's nowhere to hide, loser. My curiosity is piqued. I follow behind them and peer around the corner to get a closer look. Oh, the kid they're chasing stands with his back to the wall, with his hoodie obscuring his eyes. Leave me alone! His voice cracks. Small droplets fall from behind the hoodie, pulling into dark spots on his jacket and the ground as he stares down. The chubby dragon kid balls his hands into fists, clearly preparing for self-defense. Oh, are you crying? Look at this, guys. What a baby. Wah, gonna cry for your mommy? Huh. Huh. He breathes in deep several times, almost as if he's hyperventilating. Jeez, where are the teachers? I try speaking out in defense of the kid, but no words come. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. It's getting kind of heavy now. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks or a tip if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!